Hey Toyota lovers, it's me Chris, a Toyota Parts Distributor. You have Antonella behind the camera. We're going to give you an awesome video today with this ANZO tail light installation. So if you look at our previous video, you'll see that we actually won a giveaway with ANZO USA. We were able to pick out from their big selection. We chose not to get something for the Tacoma since we just put headlights on it, and the tail lights on this truck were pretty tired. These are actually the originals from the factory floor. They're cracked, they're repainted, they look really bad. We spruced them up, but honestly, we needed new tail lights. So we got really lucky to win, and we got some new tail lights. They're more futuristic, modern, you know, with LED lighting. We're gonna give you a close-up right now so you get a good look at what we're gonna be putting on this truck. I recommend it on any Tundra. It's gonna give it an instant spruce up, and honestly, they really make them look more modern and more tuned in with the modern trucks with the LED lighting. They're a lot brighter too, so it's gonna be safer. This is our new beautiful tail light. They really are a big upgrade compared to what I've been running for the past year and a half. So if you look at it, you're gonna see the first thing is this pattern, which usually you have in the red, is not there. It's a clear housing on top, and you have a new pattern underneath. Instead of having a reflector housing, you have an LED housing, which is a bit of a difference. It's actually gonna be a lot simpler than in past times when you had to change out the bulb and all that. That was a kind of a pain, and it could get stuck and the bulbs would heat up. And what I really hated about those bulbs is the bulbs actually would heat up so much that it would melt the housing, even on the OEMs. My original headlights had that problem where it actually melted the plastic onto it, and that's actually a fire hazard. I love LEDs personally because they don't get hot. I live in a hot climate, so this tail light will get really hot, but it stays cool. It only gets hot because of the climate, and it's not going to get damaged due to the light's heat. Take a look on the back. It comes with a harness. That's because we have LED. So since there's LED, you're not going to be putting in any lights. They also luckily provided your bulbs, so you don't have to use your old bulbs. These are brand new. They're perfect. I was actually surprised. I've never had the bulbs come with them. The only thing I'm going to be changing out, we're going to be putting in an LED here because I have no reverse camera, so I cannot see with my 20% tint on my rear windshield that well. So I like to have brighter lights, and these don't cut it for me, but they're great for a stock truck with no tint. And up here, you're going to see if you unplug this, be careful if you do, because the wires are pre-installed. You don't want to mess up the circuit that's in there. And by the way, usually LEDs have a life of 50,000 hours, which honestly, most people don't even reach 50,000 hours with their vehicles. And that's way longer than the actual light will last in an OEM application. So let's get to the actual application and installation step by step. Right now, I'm gonna be showing you the tools you're gonna need for the job. Most important thing you're gonna need is a T27 socket. So T27 is the size. You're gonna use it to remove the bolts for a light. There's only 2 bolts. Get at your local auto parts store. This is EPA Auto. I got it on Amazon actually. Next thing you're gonna need is pliers. It doesn't have to be a specific set, just anything that you can grab with. This is for a clip. The harness on the stock light, the clip is gonna be dried out. Usually on the trucks, they're gonna be dried out. They're gonna be screwed up. On my truck, I literally just clenched it down and ripped it off until the harness would unplug. Second thing, any plastic panel removal tool. You need this to take out your lights. Really, you can use a screwdriver and put a towel over it. I use this because I don't want to damage my paints. Small ratchet. This is for your socket. Now, if your socket is a different type of ratchet, bigger size, get that ratchet. For me, it is this smaller size ratchet. Last thing, screwdriver. Screwdriver is what I said for the light. I'm not going to be using this, so I'm going to put this away. But for those of you that are, cover it up with a towel. Don't damage your paint. Be careful. Right now, this is going to be step 1. We're going to be removing the 2 bolts that hold in the light. That's the first thing you want to do. So you're going to grab your 1/4-inch wrench, the smallest wrench usually, and your T27 socket. You're going to put it in. Obviously, make sure it's loosening. And 1 bolt is right here above the latch for the tailgate. And you're gonna loosen it, break it loose. And then usually that's about enough. And all you have to do is get this and it will come off. I don't like using the ratchet for this part because it's literally no force. Ratchet is for me just to take it off. Honestly, you could use a screwdriver that could take sockets and it would work too. So if you have that, use that. But we have this. So we're gonna take that one off. don't lose your screws. Keep them all in the same place. Remember where they went. Usual stuff. Now put your thing away, your little socket. Put your ratchet back, and you're done with step one. Now we're gonna work on this old garbage light. Finally getting rid of it after all these years. So what you're gonna do, this is loose. You have something holding it in right here. On your newer truck, so you haven't taken off the light, this is gonna take a little bit more force. Mine is older, so you know, not as big of a deal. So basically, you're gonna stick this here. You're gonna wanna use something stronger, honestly, and it'll just pop out. With other trucks, you're gonna have to put a little bit more force, but just make sure, you see this is where it was in. So keep in mind, you know, if you pull from up here, you can scratch all this, so try to not damage your things. So now we're gonna move on to step 3. So now we are at step 3. Step 3 is gonna be taking out your lights. So you have 3 things you're gonna be taking out. They have the wires. You're simply gonna turn them left, pull them out. They have a pattern, turn them left, pull them out. Turn them left, pull them out. So now you have a free light. I'm gonna put this to the side, and I'm gonna add something to step 3. If you have an aftermarket blinking light or you have an aftermarket reverse light, this would be the time to unplug it and put it on the side, since you're gonna be reusing it. And now we are going to go and take this harness out. All right, so we are stepping into the 4th step. Okay, so we're gonna begin removing the actual harness. So there's 2 clips we're gonna be removing, not including the actual plug for the harness. 1 clip is right here. So if you grab your harness, you should have a clip that is right here. It's white, and it is held in with 2 hooks, which you have to compress. And you're probably gonna need your pliers for this. Now, I would recommend that you're careful with this because the metal is very thin here, and I don't want you to scratch it. I don't want to scratch my truck. So we're gonna get our pliers, and if you see it on your truck, because I can't show you because of the camera angle, all you're gonna do is you're gonna get the clip, and on the outside of the truck, on the right side it would be on the outside, so we're on the left side, so it's the farthest left, you have the clip. You're gonna put the actual clip that's on the outside away from the harness. You're gonna put it inside the teeth of the pliers, and you're gonna try to push it down without putting your fingers, of course, and you're gonna try to shimmy it out. Now, obviously, if you can't do this, I recommend that you just try to break the clip and take off the harness. And if you're gonna reuse this harness in the future, maybe on a different truck, zip tie it in place. So now I'm gonna do it. We're not gonna show this part because it's just frustrating and takes time. We're finishing up step 4, and I just wanted to get you to see the actual clip now that I got it out. Now, as you can see, it's really beat up and destroyed. It was really frail and brittle, so I just hacked at it with a flathead and my pliers until it came loose. Obviously, don't break the wires, but you can use a little bit of force on the actual plastic, but don't touch the wires. You don't want to break anything like that. So we're going to be moving on to step 5, which is a clip that is on the rear part of the frame. All you're going to want to do is push this light down and then get underneath the truck and find the harness and follow it up, and you'll see where we're going to be next. So right here, you are going to be following up the actual wiring harness that you just tucked down into the chassis. So when you follow it up, you're going to see that it's held on by a pin, and then right behind it you have the plug connect assembly. So what you're going to do is remove the pin that is holding it into the frame rail. So personally, this pin was extremely hard to remove, and I ended up having to break it. Now, I don't know how it's going to be on your truck, and obviously I'd recommend that you do not break this clip. But if you have to, you do what you have to do. My light comes with a new harness, but I realized that if I had to break it, I need to reuse the clip. I'd just get a zip tie and put it through the hole in place of the clip, and that would work just fine. So this is the clip that you are removing. So here we have our connector that we need to remove in order to have our wiring harness freed. So you're just going to get a flathead screwdriver, at least that's what I used, and I put it in here and I kind of wiggled it back and forth while pushing down, and it just unclips the connector. So you can see the type of pin that it uses in order to hold it down. Pretty easy. We're on to the easiest part. It's the installation. First thing you're going to want to do, get your new awesome light, get the harness, stick it down the hole it came from. You're going to let it dangle down there, same place the original came. The clip that was here, don't worry about it if your harness doesn't have it. My harness doesn't have it. If you'd like to use it, get a zip tie and use it in place. Me personally, I know it's not needed. I'm not going to use it. So first thing you're going to do, get this metal pin and put it into this white hole. Push it in. Get your screws, put them in, hand tighten them. This is the easiest part. Honestly, I don't even tighten them that much. They don't have to be that tight. The only reason I use the tools because they came pretty tight from factory. When you're tightening them back to spec, you don't have to put them that tight. You're gonna start scratching your paint. I recommend doing it by hand, honestly. There's no reason to do anything tighter. And that's it. Not going anywhere, no noises, no moving. Now we're gonna move down below to show you the general things that we need to do.
So the first thing you're going to want to do is grab your new wiring harness, which you see in my left hand, and you're going to want to plug it into the other connector. And you also see the clip that's going to go into the frame, which obviously if this is an original harness, you're not going to have to worry about that. Don't even bother if you're not going to have LED tail lights, but if you're using these ANZO USA tail lights, this is what you're going to use. So you just push it together and you'll hear it clip and you won't be able to separate it. And then you're just going to get your clip end and you are basically going to force it through the hole. And just use force. It will go through, obviously, the same way. It just takes a little bit of pushing and you'll be good.
All right, Toyota lovers. So we've got our lights put on the truck. We haven't turned it on yet, but it does look really cool. It's a good fit and finish. It's good quality. It looks OEM, it really does. It's gonna make this truck look really cool. I did want to mention, not only do you have this LED light assembly, but you also have these two dots on the side, which is gonna give it a really cool look from the side, because not only are people gonna see your lights on from the rear, but they're also gonna see your two little dots on the side. And it's something that I haven't seen before on this truck, and I kinda like it. All right guys, so we're in the truck, just started it up. So this is with my fog lights, meaning just the running lights, no headlights. You can see how it lights up. You have both the lighting on the side and on the rear end. So right now you can see how that side look is gonna look while you're driving with your running lights on. If you have fog lights, your fog lights would be on along with your running lights. So now we are going to brake. This is with your fog lights and running lights. It's really bright compared to OEM. I'd never had them this bright, so it's gonna be way safer. So now I'm gonna turn on my lights. It's the same thing. I don't see a difference, but they still look really cool. Same thing. Let's turn on the blinkers. Now I have LEDs in the front, so they're gonna blink fast because of the wiring. And when you have both on, they're gonna blink slow. It's a really nice look. So we're gonna wait for the sun to go down a little bit, and we're gonna give you some drive-bys, but all around, it's really futuristic, and it's perfect for the Marty McFly rig. All right, so we're out here in an undisclosed location, Toyota lovers. Here are the lights with your running lights on. Looks awesome. This is exactly how it would look if you had your lights on. That's with her braking. Now she's gonna go in reverse. You're gonna see how bright they are. They're really bright, good looking lights. We have LEDs as our reverse lights, so keep that in mind, but they look so cool. Now, if you want us to work with ANZO USA again in the future, please let us know. We love ANZO USA, and we really like the headlights that they have with DRLs. And we think that they would look awesome on this truck and really give it a good character. Remember, the Marty McFly truck is from 2015. So in 2015, this truck was 3 years old, but it's still the future. So I'm Chris, a Toyota parts distributor. You have Antonella behind the wheels. And please stick around for more content. And if you want these headlights, go to ANZOUSA.com, click on Toyota, and look at all the options that you have. Remember, there's many options. There's something for everyone. We'll see you around, Toyota lovers. Make sure you stay tuned, follow, subscribe. Stay tuned on our Instagram and YouTube. We're gonna have a lot of content coming for you guys, including many new installation videos for both of our trucks. Thank you for watching our videos. We'll see you around.